your stupid technology just for a second, because I have been sitting here for over 20 minutes. That thing where you hit record and you've hit record like 5 times, but it decides not to record and you have to close the program and restart the program and then it records. That's where I'm at right now. Whew. Okay, I need a little more caffeine. I'm feeling a little defeated. You know, one of those days when you just wake up at 3:30 in the morning and from that point on, everything is wrong. I'm having one of those days, so we'll see how this wear test goes. As I said 20 minutes ago, good morning, dreamers. But I'm just doing kind of a basic bronzy eye, finishing that up real quick so that we can go in with some foundation. We're going to do a wear test on this guy today. Thank you for that suggestion. You guys are awesome. I love doing the videos that you guys suggest, so please keep them coming. We're going to see how this wears. I know that for one of you, this really oxidized, and I can totally understand. That's not fun. In my experience, it has a lot to do with your pH and your skin chemistry. Some foundations do that and some do not. It's really hard to tell. A good way to tell is if there's a tester in a store, you can kind of swatch it on your hand and walk around for a little while and see if that changes as it dries. But anyway, I've applied a little bit of eyeshadow. I've got Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in my crease, as well as a little bit of MAC Texture. On my lid, I have the bronzy highlighter from the original Carly Bible palette and BH Cosmetics. This one right here. This shade all over my lid. So, I finished up my eyeliner. Good eyeliner days. For have one of those, it's just kind of makes up for everything else though so far. Already primed, since you weren't actually with us for that. I used the Estee Edit Pore Vanishing stick. This is a sample size. Really like the Soap & Glory One Heck of a Blot foundation. I just wanted something pore filling in my T-zone here so that there's not pores shouting your name, screaming for your attention. We're gonna go in with the soft beige shade of the PhotoFocus foundation, which is the light medium warm. So I'm just gonna go in and swipe, because that's how this little paddle is kind of designed for. And we'll just start off with half my face. Overgrown. So you can probably imagine I'm a little overdue for a haircut, and I was actually scheduled for one while we were gone, so I should already have my haircut, but I had to reschedule it. And of course, you know, when you originally called, they're like, oh, okay, we'll take you in like 6 weeks. Like, no, I already look bad. I need it now. They fit me in, but not until next week, so sorry about the mop. Doing the best I can, but this headband doesn't really help me. I like that this foundation doesn't set too fast. A lot of the foundations that I like tend to be long wearing, so they try to set up really, really fast, and then they're harder to blend in. This is not like that, so it's kind of cool. Here's a girl. Hey, sweetie. How you doing? You can see my neck gets no sun at all. My face and my body, but my neck is still snow white. So I'll fix that with some bronzer in a second. But I'm gonna tap just a little bit more concealer under my eyes. You weren't with me earlier, so let me just recap real quick. I actually did this on my inner corner and my upper lid already as my base for the eyeshadow. So we're gonna see how that wears as well when we do our check-ins, because I am not someone who endorses the concealer as primer method, because for my skin chemistry, there has not been a single concealer that does it well. Generally, I look like garbage after 2 hours. It's all creasy and fading and gross. So we're testing out the Tarte Shape Tape to see if it can hold its own in that same arena. I know it looks like I used a lot of the Tarte Shape Tape, but I always wipe off that huge glob that's on that giant doe foot when I pull it out, because I've never needed the entire thing, but I really enjoy this concealer. It looks so nice. The only time I have had it look not nice is when I didn't scrape off the wand and I just applied it straight from the tube, because there's way too much product on there. Just in case there's a little excess on there, I'm just going over where I have blemishes. Trying to get a little extra coverage. Nothing too high-tech happening over here. Also just bouncing out my forehead creases, because I don't want to set those. Why lock them in, you know? Alright. So before we go in with bronzer, I gotta set everything. I'm actually gonna highlight and then set, because I'm okay with my highlight sticking to my tacky foundation, just nothing else. Ooh, we didn't set our under eye. Let's tap that out and do that. I got so distracted because I was highlighting. Using the RCMA No Color powder to set this, and a little small taper brush by e.l.f. So I have set that all over with the RCMA No Color powder. Just so you know, it's not a particularly mattifying powder. It's not particularly anything. It just kind of neutralizes. It doesn't alter the finish or anything like that. It just kind of sets it down. And I'm just bronzing with this Flawless Face brush by e.l.f. and my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer. Darcy, you're going to fall. My lap is not that long. She's upset because I'm not snuggling her in my bed. So she's sitting on my lap, sighing and whining. This is not the situation she wanted. She's not spoiled. Now that I've got the rest of my face on, just so that you're aware of what I am wearing the Super Sizer Mascara by CoverGirl. I used my Shuamura S curler as usual, and on my lips I'm wearing from the Intimatte Nudes collection by Maybelline, Naked Coral. Anyway, I just did a little bit of a bronzy eye. That's kind of my go-to. We're gonna check in throughout the day and see how this foundation wears. Just so that you do know, this is not my natural straight out the gate fair skin tone. I have gotten a little bit of sun over the last week or so this is my slightly tan shade. For right now, it doesn't look to me like it has oxidized at all. I have set it all over my face with a little bit of RCMA No Color powder. This is not a mattifying powder. This doesn't do anything fancy. It just sets the makeup, doesn't change the finish or anything like that. So it's not going to be giving us any extra help. I do get oily throughout the day, so you will see that. I will let you know if I touch up anything. Likely my lip color will change because I get bored. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a close-up. We're going to come in close here, just real up close and personal so that you can kind of check out my skin. I'm not trying to hide anything from you guys. I want you to see exactly how it's sitting. So, you know, I don't have perfect skin. I have pores and I don't try to hide all that, but you can see it's not really settling around my nose. It's not settling largely into my smile lines, which I really appreciate about this foundation. I mean, you can see that I have lines because they don't go away. It's not settling there. It's not settling a ton in my forehead, though it does settle a little bit. That's normal for me. It's a really good color match for me. It may not match my neck right now because my neck just doesn't get sun, but my chest is matching my face, and that's what matters to me. look different to you, that's cool, because I've actually decided to put down the tweezers and let them just kind of come in full force. So I am only really plucking if I get crazy ones in the middle here or ones way down on my eyelid. I will pluck those, but otherwise I am just kind of letting my brows go free and seeing what we can get out of it. So if they do look a mess in these next several videos, don't be surprised. I'm gonna do my best, but we're letting the brows grow in, so bear with me, okay? The foundation looks really good. I am a fan of this foundation. Just for the record, this is not a first impression. I have worn this before. I do like it, but I do want to see how long we can get the wear out of it. It is 10:30 right now, my time. We started all this about 45 minutes ago or so. I am going to go and run a couple of errands that I have to do, and I will come back and check in with you in a little bit. It's been a couple hours. It's about 12:30 now, and this is how I'm looking. I do have a little bit of shine. You can see that I have mostly like right around the crevice of my nose is where it all kind of starts. So it has started there. It's about 80 some degrees outside. It's really nice today. I mean, it's not a crazy hot day, but it's definitely warm, definitely enough to get your blood moving, get you a little glistening. I wouldn't say sweating per se, but glistening definitely. I did eat some lunch. I reapplied my same lipstick. This is the shade 555, the one on my lips, which is Naked Coral, and then I picked up the shade 540, which is Peach Buff. I thought it looked like a lighter version of the same shade and that it would be really pretty. I thought we would just see how that looked. Put a little on the center. It's kind of a ombre effect. It kind of makes your lips look fuller to do that if you add a little bit of a lighter color just in the center. It gives more of a 3D pout to your lips. I like it. It's really pretty. So with how this foundation is wearing, let's get up close and personal real quick. Oh, let's get a little extra light in case that helps. So I'm sorry, I know that because of the lighting it does change the colors slightly, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm working with what I've got. It's just this one that gets kind of blue as I get close, so I do apologize. I just want you to be able to see my pores and all that kind of thing. You can see the marks from my sunglasses. I don't think that's entirely the foundation. It's kind of where the foundation and the concealer meet. So it's kind of both of them. I mean, the Tarte Shape Tape doesn't hold up well to sunglasses either, so it could be either of them doing that. That's fine. I expected as much. I'm getting a little bit of shine through here too. A little fuzz in my hair. So far so good. I feel really good in this foundation. I feel like it looks really good. I have taken a couple of pictures on my phone and will continue to throughout the day so we can see how it photographs. And I do have the iPhone now, so I figure that should be pretty standard for people for comparing how this photographs. And I will check in with you guys in a little bit. I'm getting a little shinier. I'm thinking that it's probably, how long's it been now? It's been 3.5, 4 hours about since we completely finished my makeup. I'm thinking it's time to powder or at least blot a little bit. Well, I guess I should have picked up blotting papers when I was at Walgreens earlier running errands too, because they somehow got misplaced. Without having any blotting paper to work with, we are going to use a tiny bit of the Laura Mercier translucent powder, because this will give us a little bit more mattifying properties than what we were using before, but it shouldn't get too cakey. I'm just taking a really, really light amount on this pointed powder brush by e.l.f. and just tapping that on my face. That certainly helps. I should have let you look at me all close up before I did that. I'm sorry. It looks a lot like it did in the first check-in. A little bit more breaking up just around my nose. Again, I really think that all of this shine and that little bit of breaking up around my nose could be avoided by using the Soap and Glory primer rather than the Estee Edit one. But I feel like that really touched up well. Just a real light dusting of that Laura Mercier translucent powder. So now it's got a little bit more of a satin finish. Now that I've now that I've powdered it down. I will see you guys at our next check-in. Let's set the mood. And in case you're the kind of person who wants to know, my candle smells like cookies. So now that our lights have warmed up a little bit, let's get up close. I don't know if you guys are catching on to this, but there's some shine involved in every one of these check-ins. That is greatly in part to the fact that I didn't use a mattifying primer. I did that on purpose for you guys so that you could see how this wears without that. I normally wear this with a mattifying and pore minimizing primer, which I mentioned during our demo. However, I did not want to give it any help. I wanted it to stand on its own. So all I used was the Estee Edit Pore Vanishing Stick. This does not claim to help provide any relief from shine or oil or anything like that. It merely blurs the pores so that your foundation doesn't settle in there and look kind of icky. Regardless, I think this is wearing really well, despite the fact that it is shiny and I have produced oil. It does not seem to be breaking up. It doesn't seem to be gone anywhere. I did just touch my chin earlier and remove a little bit of coverage right here, but everything else seems to still be there. There's no like weird wear patterns. There's none of the foundation has disappeared beneath where my bangs are. Not that they're rubbing, but it happens. Everything seems to be holding up well. My blush is still on, my bronzer's still on, highlight's still on. Oh, I don't think I told you what time it is, but it is 4:30. It's been another 2.5 hours. This time I'm going to leave you for a while. Don't miss me too much. It's not going to matter to you. I'm going to be right back. Like, how's everybody doing? It is just about 8:30, and I figured it was time for our final check-in. We have had this makeup on for about 10 hours now. This doesn't claim to be a long wear foundation. It just claims to not give photo flashback in a bunch of different lighting conditions. As far as 10 hours of wear goes, nothing is broken up. I mean, maybe a little bit right in the crease of my nose. There might be some missing coverage in there, can't quite tell. Otherwise, everything is intact. I mean, I'm shiny, but it's there, and I know from earlier that I could easily touch up with a mattifying powder to balance out what's going on. I'm pretty satisfied with this foundation. You can see why it's rapidly becoming a favorite of mine, particularly because it's $6. I know a lot of people dislike this applicator method, and I understand that it's germy. If you're using this on multiple people, clients, then that's not ideal. But for personal use, I really don't see a problem. Try not to swipe directly over open acne if you don't want to spread it, but other than that, it is what it is, and it's a good foundation for a good price point. If it really bothers you, cut off the stick and pour it out like a liquid. Anyway, I would love to get your opinion on this video. Did you enjoy it? Is there another foundation that you've heard me talk about that you would like to see me do a wear test for? Is there anything you'd like me to do a wear test for that you've heard me mention before? I would love to hear about it. If you have any video suggestions at all, please let me know. I'm very open to that. I forgot to mention that I was using a concealer as primer today, and we were kind of testing that out too, because I hadn't really done that with the Tarte Shape Tape, and let me tell you, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, it did better than my e.l.f. $2 sheer eyelid primer that I have repurchased, because it's actually the primer that converted me to the entire idea. It started the whole downward spiral that is what I am today. This eyeshadow has held up rather well. I mean, the shimmer on the center of this lid is not as apparent, but I do have slightly more hooded eyes just in that area, so I know it's just from constant touching. It does look really good. I mean, the pigmentation is still really even. It doesn't look missing anywhere. I don't have any issues. I mean, my bottom lash line faded a little bit. That's normal to me. It's not produced there, but I get a little bit of oil down under my eyes, so it's not uncommon for my under eye shadows that I've placed to just kind of disappear. You can understand why I'm probably not a huge fan of lower lash liner. Because when that just kind of everywhere, it's not so cute. I think this concealer did a really good job. This is contrary to everything that I have believed about using concealers as an eyeshadow primer before, just with my personal skin chemistry. That has not worked for me. I would definitely recommend that you could use this concealer as primer if you desired to do so. I would use very, very little. That's what I did today. Any excess product in general is going to crease if you put it on skin that is constantly folding. It's just how it works. But used in a reasonable amount, I think it does a really good job. It survived 10 hours. My liner has faded a little bit. I had a rogue eye drop earlier that went a little crazy. I ended up with one on my forehead too, but no streaking, so that's happy. I've had foundations just leave a streak if like one of my eye drops goes AWOL, you know, and that's really fun to explain. I had a rogue drop go off the corner over here and removed some of the waterproof Physicians Formula liner. It's not waterproof, it's more like water resistant. I've had it withstand better, but it's a little faded over there. Not gonna lie, just telling you in case you didn't see that. What can I say? I'm 100% transparency, no matter what the form. I hope you guys are enjoying this channel. I sure am. I hope you all are having a wonderful day or evening, wherever you are. And until next time.